Most Canadians are using their TFSA completely wrong. Not illegally wrong, just expensively wrong. If you've been parking money in a TFSA savings account at 3% interest, you may have quietly left hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. The 2026 TFSA contribution limit is $7,000. But the real story isn't the limit, it's what you put inside it, and why most people never make the switch. Here's what the TFSA actually is. The tax-free savings account, introduced by the CRA in 2009, lets your money grow completely tax-free. Not tax-deferred like an RRSP, tax-free. Dividends, capital gains, interest income, whatever you earn inside it never gets reported to the CRA. You keep all of it. Before we get into the strategy, I put together a free 2026 Canadian Money Moves checklist that covers all the key accounts to have open this year. Link in the description if you want it. Back to the TFSA. When you withdraw money, you don't lose that contribution room forever. It comes back on January 1st of the following year. So the account is genuinely flexible, not just a locked-in savings vehicle. And unlike the RRSP, there's no income tax deduction for contributing. But there's also no tax hit when you take the money out. What goes in after tax stays out tax-free. Here's where people leave serious money on the table. The TFSA has a cumulative contribution room that goes back to 2009. From 2009 to 2012, the annual limit was $5,000. In 2013 and 2014, it moved to $5,500. Then 2015, the Harper government briefly doubled it to $10,000. That was reversed. From 2016 to 2018, back to $5,500. $6,000 from 2019 to 2022, $6,500 in 2023, and since 2024, including 2026, the limit has been $7,000 per year. Add it all up, if you were 18 or older in 2009 and have never contributed, the CRA has been accumulating $109,000 in room for you, whether you open the account or not. Unused room carries forward indefinitely. The catch? The CRA's records run 1 to 2 years behind. Track your own contributions separately. Don't rely on my CRA to know your real balance. Here's the expensive mistake. Most Canadians open a TFSA at their bank and leave the money in the bank's TFSA savings account, earning 3 to 4% interest and calling it investing. It isn't. It's a slightly better savings account wrapped in a tax shelter. The TFSA has no restrictions on what you hold inside it. You can hold ETFs, index funds, individual stocks, bonds, GICs, anything a registered brokerage account allows. The tax-free status applies to all of it. That's the part most bank advisors don't volunteer. A TFSA savings account at 4% over 20 years will roughly double your money. A diversified index ETF portfolio at 7%, the historical long-run average of a broad equity index, doesn't double it. It nearly quadruples it. The tax shelter only pays off if you put something worth sheltering inside it. Here's the actual number. $100,000 invested in a taxable brokerage account at 7% annually over 20 years grows to about $387,000 before taxes. In Ontario, at a combined marginal rate of around 53% on investment income, you'd owe roughly $77,000 to the CRA over that period through annual tax slips. Your real take-home? Closer to $310,000. Put that same $100,000 into a TFSA invested in a broad index fund ETF, same 7%, same 20 years. You keep the full $387,000. No T5 slips, no capital gains reporting, no CRA claim on any of it. The difference between treating your TFSA as a savings account versus an investment account isn't a rounding error. It's a retirement. 3 mistakes the CRA quietly profits from every year. Mistake 1. Recontributing in the same calendar year after a withdrawal. If you pull out $5,000 in September and put it back in November, you've overcontributed. The CRA charges a 1% monthly penalty on the excess amount. Your withdrawal room only returns on January 1st of the following year, not the same year. Mistake 2. Trusting CRA's My Account numbers in real time. The CRA typically processes contribution data 1 to 2 years behind. If you've made recent contributions and use My CRA to check your room, you may believe you have more space than you do. Keep your own running total in a spreadsheet. Mistake 3. Holding U.S. dividend ETFs in a TFSA. The Canada-U.S. tax treaty does not cover TFSAs. The U.S. government withholds 15% on U.S.-sourced dividends regardless. For U.S. dividend ETFs like VTI or VYM, an RRSP is the better shelter. Save the TFSA for Canadian equity ETFs or growth-focused holdings. The two platforms worth using for a TFSA in Canada are Wealthsimple and Questrade. Wealthsimple offers commission-free ETF investing with automatic rebalancing. Best if you want to set a risk level and not think about it again. Questrade lets you self-direct. ETF purchases are free, and you have more control over exactly what you hold. Both are registered CRA-approved platforms. Links to both are in the description. The bottom line: your 2026 TFSA limit is $7,000. Your lifetime cumulative room may be as high as $109,000. Don't leave it sitting at 3% in a savings account. Open a self-directed TFSA, invest in a broad index fund, and let compounding do the work tax-free. Get the free 2026 Canadian Money Moves checklist. It covers every account worth opening this year. Link in the description. Follow the Gain channel for weekly Canadian money breakdowns.